Hi, my name is Clay Cutts, and I help highly driven men and women reconnect to the awesome person inside themselves. I help them confidently answer the question, who am I? Now, if you're like most of my clients, things probably look pretty good on paper. You got the home, you got the job, the career, the kids, the whatever, all the trappings of a good life, or some combination of those. In fact, if somebody else looked at your life, they'd say, oh, that looks pretty good. And for the most part, it is. But something is missing. You remember being confident and carefree, but now you're insecure and stressed, and you're not fully living up to your potential. Something significant is missing. So the question is, what in the world happened? Well, you're in luck, because I can answer that. Let me draw this for you. So what happens is you start off and there's just you. And that's how you are. You're this awesome kid. You play and run, and if you want to sing or dance, you do. If you want to take off your clothes and run through the sprinklers, you do that without any kind of self-consciousness at all. And we make the mistake when we're 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 years old of thinking that that's what we look like, that that's what our personality looks like. When the fact is that there's a lot more to us. Our personalities are way more complex and then get more complex as we get older. So what happens is this young version of you starts off just like most kids and is happy and carefree, but then things start happening. Maybe there's a divorce. Maybe you go to school and the kids make fun of you or you pick on you, make fun of your haircut or something like that. Maybe there's an accident, or maybe something really bad happened. Maybe there was an assault, or maybe abuse or trauma, or maybe there was sexual trauma or something really difficult to deal with. So now we have the you, but now these things are starting to happen. And when these events happen, we hold emotions there in this part of our personality, in these individual parts, right? And these are negative emotions. These are things like shame, or embarrassment, or self-doubt, or self-loathing, or guilt, or all this sort of the negative stuff that we don't want to feel. And who would blame you for wanting to feel those things? Because they're awful. So what happens is we develop new behaviors. Maybe we find that anger helps keep these emotions down. Maybe we find that sexually acting out helps keep these emotions down. How about alcohol? How about drugs? How about pornography? How about a million other things that can keep these emotions from coming up? So these parts of your personality are doing a really important job. They're trying to keep these difficult emotions down because nobody wants to walk around feeling them. Of course, there's a problem. These behaviors all have negative consequences, or potentially negative consequences, certainly over time. So meanwhile, there's other parts of our personality, and maybe there's a part of you that is very organized. Maybe there's a part of you that's very logical. Maybe there's a part of you that's that's a very good fixer. Maybe you have an academic part, a thinker. That's very good at sort of thinking and problem solving and figuring things out. So these parts of your personality likely run your daily life. They get you to work on time. They remember to pay your taxes. They fill the car up with fuel before it runs out of gas on the side of the road. So these parts do a really important jobs for you. So meanwhile, these parts are also really afraid that these parts are going to pop back up, and these parts are really trying to keep these parts down. And these parts of your personality are also worried about these parts. So what's going on is all these parts are sort of working so hard just to get you through the day. It's no wonder you're exhausted. Even if the parts that are over here are not these wild and outgoing parts. Maybe it's just the part, the depression, that just shuts you down. Maybe it's anxiety coming up in you. So all these parts are interacting in these really sort of complex patterns, and you're exhausted. This takes tons and tons of energy, so no wonder you're exhausted. But wait, we forgot about something. There's still the you, the actual true self in the middle of all this. What's going on here? Well, this awesome kid that used to run through the sprinklers naked is covered up. Still there, but just covered up because of all these other interactions. It takes so much energy to do all this other stuff that this part just gets forgotten, the real you. There's a problem with that because the real you has some really important characteristics. It is wise. It's balanced. It's insightful. It's great at problem solving in a very intuitive way. It's confident. It's compassionate. It's calm. It's loving. It's joyful. All the really, really good stuff lives right here in this part of you that's covered up. So it's all doom and gloom. It's all bad news. Well, of course not. I wouldn't share all this with you if there wasn't some really good news underneath all this. So what do we do with all this? Well, that's where I come in. So what I do with clients is I help them understand what their internal systems look like. Now, everybody's is a little bit different, obviously. And once you start to understand your system, you can actually interact with these parts of your personality in a very direct way that allows this part, this wise, balanced, kind, compassionate, curious part, insightful, discerning part of you, allows this part to move into a leadership position amongst all these other parts, just like a conductor of an orchestra or the teacher of a classroom or the coach of a team, right? This part that has all these good qualities moves into a leadership position. And what happens when you're leading from this part rather than from these other parts, is these other parts just sort of naturally calm down and fall in line. So think of a work situation or a team situation where one of the members sort of rose to a leadership position. What happened? All the other members were happy to fall into line and to follow this leader, right? Assuming they're a competent leader. And then you are a competent leader. These parts just don't know it yet. So therapy with me and counseling with me is about working with these parts so that you can lead with the real you. And when that happens, this intuitive part of you knows what to do about your relationship issue. It knows what to do about your financial stress. It knows what to do about that big job decision that you have to make. It knows what to do about the broken relationship with your kids. It knows what to do about your drug or alcohol or sexual problem. When you work from this place, all of these other problems get so much easier to fix. So if you'd like to work on your personality and understand yourself better than you ever thought possible, if you would like to be able to finally answer the question, who am I, with confidence and clarity, then give me a call. We'll get to work right away, get to know your system, and get you feeling better pretty quickly. If you want to talk to me, take action. Don't wait for tomorrow because you'll forget it and you won't do it. So just pick up the phone and call me right now. The number's on the top and the bottom of this page, or you can put your information in the contact form and I'll call you, whatever's easier. The number is 678-853-5746. Just give me a call. We'll chat and we'll figure out next steps together. Awesome. Thanks for checking in, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side.